My children now are getting to that age where it's becoming obvious they're going to struggle to buy a house. We're one of the lucky ones. We got in there just before the house prices went bananas. My boy of 18 is just a few months younger than I was when I first moved out. For him to move out now, for him to get a masonette like I did, shared with my friend, it's going to probably cost him £1,400 a month where I live. He doesn't earn that. There's a housing crisis. But yet no one wants to talk about the fact that there's a housing crisis because there's too many people. And there's too many people because we've got open borders. And you can give me all the no, there's no open borders rubbish. There are people coming into this country who on the flight over here are disposing of their paperwork down the toilets. Now, why would a person need to wipe any record of who they are? If they were a good person, they'd want to show that off, wouldn't they? You'd only want to hide it if you've got something to hide. But yet we let them in. From around the corner from my house is a hotel, and it's about £70 a night to stay there. Let's say the government, to get the whole hotel, pays a reduced rate. Let's say they pay £30 a room per night. There's 100 rooms there. That's £3 a night. That's 21 grand a week. That's a mil. That's £1 million a year. And that's one hotel. We also give migrants £7 a day spending allowance. So let's address what is a migrant and what is an asylum seeker. An asylum seeker is someone at war who, unless we took them in here now, would be killed. Where are all the women and kids? Why are they all fighting age males? Why are fighting age males abandoning their country? We used to call people like that cowards, didn't we? But now they're heroes because they're safe in France, but choose, and it is a choice, to come to England. And they come to England because we give them a house, because we give them money. There's a hotel, one of many in my hometown, that has recently been on TikTok where they're interviewing two migrants, and they're migrants, not asylum seekers. They're from Western Europe, and they've been in that hotel. One of them they're interviewing has been in there for a year, and the other one has been in there for 2 years. So let's say £30 a night, £150, sorry, £210 a week, 10 grand to house him for a year, and 20 grand to house his friend. That's 30 grand. Now we hemorrhaging money in this country because I swear we've just had a Prime Minister who didn't mention a thing about cutting winter fuel during his manifesto when he was voted in. He's just cut pensioners' winter fuel allowance. There is no doubt there will be pensioners in this country who will not put their heating on over winter this year and will die. They will die. We are literally killing our own people to bring in others. That is the state of our current society. And the worst thing about it is the common man, the working man, who is paying for all this, isn't allowed to talk about it for fear of being called racist. Now, there is no such thing as a race called a migrant. You can say nationalist if that's what you want, but I'd also say I'm a dad, and I didn't pay into this society for all these years for my children to not be able to buy their own home, to live in fear, and to basically probably migrate somewhere else. worst living conditions. The working Englishman is a second-class citizen. It is 100% two-tier care. The working Englishman can practically do no right. If you're non-English, and if you're non-male really, you can do no wrong. Our society is just backward because the people, the very fabric that make this society tick, are getting fed up. And the term racism and the whole anti-right wing thing, you have any reservations about migration, you're immediately far right. And what they're basically saying to you, that is, basically, is comparing you to Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. So everyone's scared. Oh, I don't want to be called that, because at the end of the day, if you're tarred with that brush, you'll struggle to get a job. People won't like you. He's a racist, he is. Why? Because I don't think it's a good idea to just let anybody and everybody come into this country, and I fear for the safety of my children because of that. Now, going out in my hometown nowadays is far riskier than going out in another country. My boy's just come back from Greece. He's been out in Zante for the nightlife. He's been there twice in the last few months. No problems at all. He will not go out in my hometown because every time he goes out in our hometown, there's a problem. Why are we putting up with this? Why are we just accepting this as our way of life? The 48% mouth breathers who don't see that cheap labour is only good for the corporations and the billionaires and the media moguls and the people that perpetuate politics and donate to political parties. You're being duped. You are literally being duped and told what you see right in front of you isn't what you see. Or perhaps you don't see it. Perhaps you live in a village. Perhaps you don't see the mass migration. Perhaps you don't see the groups of males wandering around at 4 o'clock in the morning in the dark and wondering what the hell is going on there on a Tuesday morning. I know what they're doing. They're going around and they're testing people's car doors, or they're nicking bikes. And I know they're nicking bikes because outside the hotel that they're all staying in is full of old second-hand mountain bikes. Unless we subsidise that also. We got things backwards in this country. The working class man is doomed, really. You pay your taxes, you pay your rent or your mortgage, you pay your electric, you pay your gas, you pay your insurance, you pay for your MOT every year, you pay your tax on your fuel, you pay tax on your wages, and the vain hope that maybe you might get something pleasurable out of life, and if you go slightly over the speed limit, you get fined or basically taxed again, and your insurance goes up and more money comes out your pocket. And if you're lucky, you might make it to retirement. But if you make it to retirement now, you're going to freeze to death. Because this country would much rather give money to people who have never paid a penny into society than to looking after people that have worked and paid tax and national insurance for their entire working life. It's disgusting the way this country's going. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, my rant over. Thank you very much for listening. Stay safe out there, people. See you soon.